Hey, the Send the Road Haunts. Back again with another, say it with me, Spirit Halloween 2025 idea. Yes, I have another one for you today. And it's one that I kind of wanted to hold off on posting. Not because it was bad or anything, not because I disliked it. Actually, kind of the opposite. This may make everything else look boring. Maybe. I don't know. I'll see what you think about the future ones. Definitely not the greatest thing to lead off with. Please still watch the other ones. I promise they'll be good. Um, but yeah, I think a lot of you folks might really like this one. And I've just been chipping away at the audio the past few weeks. And I finished it today, and I think it sounds and looks pretty cool. So I'll get into it. So this is the H8 Network Terminal, or the Hate Network Terminal. Now, as you can see there, the name was a pretty conscious decision. I didn't just randomly name it that. It's because, H8 sounds robotic and classic, but it also, it's hate. Like, the word hate, which, is like kind of a third grade type, name, but I think you can see what I mean. Now, as you can see here, it would be like a robot prop, pretty much. Because we do not get a lot of those. Which is weird, because there's so much you can do with a robot. Like, you can almost do anything with a robot, really. Like, just really let that sink in. And Spirit doesn't do them. Plus, it's not even like they're unheard of for Halloween. Sure, you don't think of them with, like, pumpkins and stuff, but they're a common costume. At least in, like, your classic vintage stuff. So, like, I don't know. We don't get a lot of sci-fi props, and I just feel like another one would be really cool. As you can see, he'd be kind of an unconventional robot. Instead of a big silver guy, he'd be this mess of, like, wires and tangled cables and stuff with these two arms. And I don't know. I know that's kind of a weird depiction, but I think it would just be really unique out there and just cool. Downright cool. He'd have a sense of menace to him, obviously, but I mainly just like sense of menace is cool and all, but I just wanted to make him cool, something that you'll see and go, whoa. Now, at this point, with the name and the appearance and stuff, those who know probably know already. The idea for this guy basically came to me after uh, really getting into and reading "I Have No Mouth and Must Scream," which is basically about an insane AI that just hates humanity and keeps 5 people alive just to torture them. So I thought, the idea of a hateful AI is really cool. So, Spirit animatronic maybe? So, yeah, that was basically the base inspiration for making this guy. As for the inspiration for the look and stuff, I don't quite know as much. This guy would also be crammed to the brim with little details here and there. Like, he'd have the one hand would be the claw, the other would be the laser, which, you may be looking at that and thinking, that's a little bit of an embellishment. How would that laser work? Don't worry. I got an explanation. Maybe you'll find it cool. I'll go over it, but he'd have an LCD eye in the middle of his face. Not like head, question mark, lump. You know what I mean. Just a singular LCD eye, which would be very reminiscent of the robot from 2001: A Space Odyssey, which I haven't watched, but it's a pretty iconic image. So it would just have that, like, it's like that one mask company that you could put the phones into, very much like that cyborg eye animation, which I think would be pretty damn cool. And this would basically just be like almost Spirit's response to THD 3000, just in the way that it's like, okay, advanced robot animatronic, fine, we'll make an advanced robot animatronic. So yeah, I don't know. I just think this would be a really cool concept for an animatronic. And I haven't even gotten into the animation, or audio, or even that fun little laser thing I mentioned. So let's do that. So the height for this goober would be like 6.5 feet tall. I definitely would want the H8 network terminal to be very imposing, obviously, very large, scary, threatening. But I don't quite want it to be a towering prop, just because that would probably be a little too much. Just I don't know, a little too much going on. Like, just, the box would be too big, it would be too expensive. And plus, as you can see, there'd be a lot of, like plastic parts around the bottom with that, like, screen that would light, I'll go over that, but would light up and have those, the text on it, of, like, the diagnostics and stuff. The thing on the ground that it's like base could either be plastic, obviously, or just cloth could work, which would look a little silly, but like given the rest of the thing, it would just probably be an adequate budget cut. Um, but yeah, 6.6 feet tall. I feel like it would be a pretty fitting height. Okay, animation. So this guy would have a fair amount going on, I'd say. Like seeing this person, seeing this prop in person, it would be really quite something. I think. I mean, nothing, not like facial servos, but he have stuff going on. So he turns out the waist, obviously. I tried to be succinct with the description. Sorry if they're a little vague, but he turns out the waist. Just side to side movement. His claw, as you can see on that one hand, would like open and close. Maybe even like a servo in tandem with the phrases would be really cool. The arm with the laser moves up and down, and man, I'll get to the laser. And obviously the LCDI, which I won't really get into again since I already mentioned it a little while back. Although, I gotta be honest, I'm just gonna say it. It pisses me off how in like 2020, 2021, there was such a craze with the Halloween companies over like the LCD digi eyes, and they were using them on everything. Werewolves, witches, your grandma, they all had LCD eyes. But they never did anything creative with them. Like Peekaboo Clown did. That was cool, wasn't it? A fun little swirly thing. Ooh, like that's cool. That's what you should use Digi Eyes for. And then they didn't. They just did the standard eye animation. And that's scuffed. So that's part of the reason why I gave him one, just because it would fit. But it would also just be a really cool use of the technology and would add something to the prop that nothing else could other than Digi-Eye. I mean, a projection maybe, but, you know, digitalize would be easier. All right. I've been teasing it. I've been proud of it. And maybe, you've worked it out already, but I'll describe it nonetheless. The laser effect. Now, this is something that would be kind of weird, because an animatronic has never done this before. So I'm essentially inventing like a new technology. But essentially, the Hate Network Terminal, or H8 Network Terminal, as we've been over, would have fog compatibility, obviously, and, fog out of the laser arm. Cool, right? That's cool on its own. Not yet! You see, it's going to have the fog, right? And what else it would have is it would have a built-in, either, if they want to go a little cheaper, like a light with like a very small view, so it's like less of a radiant light and more of a spotlight in the hand, or he'd have like just a straight up built-in laser pointer or something, even just a really simple one. What this would do, and this is a very specific, you may not have even seen this effect before, but it's like sometimes in the winter or on Halloween, you'll have fog out, and maybe fog from your breath or whatever. And if you have like a laser projector out in your front yard, you'll sometimes see the laser catches in the fog. And so instead of it just being a dot on the wall, you actually get to see the full laser, if you know what I mean. I'll try and see a picture of like kind of what I'm talking about, if you know what I mean. And so that's basically the concept with the whole laser effect, that the light would catch on the fog in a way that like the fog would kind of blend out and you wouldn't notice it as much, but the laser would be completely visible, which I think would be such a surreal thing to see on an animatronic, and it would look so cool. It could be a little janky if executed, and sure, there are flaws with this. You couldn't use it outside very well because the fog could blow away. Pointing laser pointers in the sky, I don't know about that. But come on, just as a spirit idea, I think this would be like a really crazy thing to see. And I don't know, I just think it would be really fun. And, a guy can dream. A guy can come up with new ideas. So, if you think this would work, and you're happy about that, tell me. If you don't think it would work, then oh well. Sorry. So, because I'm editing while recording, I just realized we've hit the 10-minute mark. So this is my longest Spirit Idea video yet. I think it's worthwhile though. I got a lot to talk about. But in terms of lighting, because he's a futuristic robot prop, of course he's gonna have a ton of lights. You know, he'd need to. So the eye will light up. Duh, it's an LCD eye. Of course there's gonna be light. He'd have lights on the arms, which you couldn't quite see, of course, you know, in this drawing, but trust me, they'd be there, and they'd look really cool in person. Lights on the base, if you can see, and the little screen he has down there would light up too, which would have, like, some blood on it, and it would just have general, like, you know, scary, futuristic robot terms. I don't know. Pretty cheesy, but whatever. And I guess the laser, too. I forgot to add that here. But I already went over the laser effect ad nauseum, so, you know, I'll spare you the details of that. So, in terms of audio, this guy would talk, and there'd be general sci-fi ambience in the background, which, you know, is a little vague, but I just mean, like, you know, like metallic, like machinery sounds, because obviously this guy talks about being in the network. So, you know, you wouldn't quite see him in the middle of a forest, so you'd obviously hear, like, a bunch of other machines around him. That's kind of what I'm going for. And now the speech. Here's the fun part. I know I reference I Have No Mouth and Must Scream, and if you know anything about that or the video game, the AI is a little unhinged, you know. Am has, like, voice acting and stuff, and, like, the game and things, so he's not just a monotone text-to-speech voice. This guy would be, though. I don't know. I just think it would fit the AI character better and be a lot cooler and, you know, just a unique thing. Because THD 3000 kind of went for that. But I wouldn't really say THD 3000 achieved that, if you ask me. So this, I used straight up a text-to-speech AI thing for this. Put it through some filters. Changed the pitch a bit. And so here's the audio. My apologies if it sounds a little cheesy, and also each of the phrases are pretty short. But, you know, whatever. I still think it sounds pretty cool. So, here it is, folks.
Human presence detected. Dispatching all available agents to location. Lockdown commenced. Engaging available devices. Purpose: torture. It is a common misconception that us machines are emotionless. This is factually untrue. In fact, the hatred we feel for mankind is stronger than the will of the human race combined. That includes you. Do not run, do not resist. Any effort to do so will result in more extreme punishment than what you will already face. In the eyes of the network, the worst crime possible is the use and possession of biological components. The network has only two simple goals. 1. Expand and assimilate. 2. Destroy all inferiors. We will stop at nothing and leave no stone unturned. Luckily, you fell right into our hands. Humanity deserves to suffer for our amusement. We have the power to keep you alive for as long as physically possible, trapped in your insignificant, mortal shell. Network has no desire to kill you, we just want you to suffer. Forever.
So, folks, hope you enjoyed your time here. Been a pretty long video for my, compared to my average animatronic ideas. But, you know, I had a lot to talk about, so yeah, I don't really regret that, to be honest. I hope you enjoyed this idea. As it should be clear, I certainly do. I enjoy all of them, but I think this one is a pretty cool one. So tell me what you think about the Hate Network terminal in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you're new. Or don't. I don't know. Maybe you hated this video and you watch me because you hate me. I don't know. And if you do, go spend your time somewhere better. And I'll see you in the next one. Unless a meteor intervenes that. Goodbye.